Previously on the Ultimate Career. And we do indeed get that good start we were looking for, trying to jump Hulkenberg and Rosberg on the start. We're going to dive it up the middle, getting past our teammate Maldonado. And if we can not clip the wall of champions, that would be great. But we go around the outside of Schumacher. Fantastic move in to the final chicane. See, going over the curb quite a lot there, and it's got us a penalty. Going over that first curb just sort of centres. Anyway, I think we're just going to have to... Oh, my word. No, we're not going to get P7 because we've got into the wall. We've made an absolute rookie mistake. We were trying to push back for P6. We should have just been content with P7. And instead, we are going to get no points this afternoon. But instead, it's only going to be P13. We come across the line. Jenson Buttons won the race. And we come across the line for a very, very disappointing no points finish. Our teammates in last position. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the F1 Ultimate Career. Yes, we are back today for Season 3, and it's round number 8. It's the European Grand Prix, and it is a circuit that holds many good memories, most notably back in 2010, where we took the victory on the final corner of this circuit. Well, if you guys are happy to see this series back, then do make sure to leave a like down below. And if we can hit 100 likes within the first 24 hours of this episode going out, then I will try and release another episode before the end of the week. But there you can see on screen now the 2011 race stats. You can see that Hamilton dominated the 2011 race weekend, winning the race and taking pole position. We, if you can remember, in 2011 came from the back of the grid to finish in 3rd position. So as I say, it's a circuit which holds many good memories, and it's a circuit which I actually really do enjoy driving on. So hopefully today we will be able to get some points after a disappointing finish last time out in Canada. But well, today could prove a good race. Let's see how we get on in qualifying.
That's the session over, 10th place.
Well, there you can hear it. We had a pretty disappointing Q3 once again. 10th place on the grid, and this is how it all unfolded. Q2 and Q3 were both wet, and the weather was starting to clear up in Q3. But here you can see us on the full wet tyres, the blue walled tyre, and there you can see we just run wide off the circuit onto the dirty line. That was enough to send us off, careering into the barrier. That left us in P10 for the session, but it's all lining up for a very, very good race. We somehow look pleased with P10. Let's see what we can do for the European Grand Prix. Well, we started in 10th place in Monaco, 10th in Canada, and now 10th here at Valencia. And it is lights out and away we go here. We have got 29 laps ahead of us here at the Valencia Street Circuit and going towards Turn 1. You'll be able to notice that the sun is out for today's race, but less of that and more of the action going into Turn 1. Having to get a little bit squirrely on the brakes. That Sauber there was going very, very slowly. We've actually lost positions off the start. Our teammate down around our outside, and now Jean-Eric Vergne making a lunging move down the inside. He gets the move done, and now Maldonado goes into us, and well, it looks as if he's actually let us through. I've no idea what Maldonado's doing, as we've said many, many times in this series, but now trying to go around the outside of Jean-Eric Vergne, which will then turn to the inside, so up into P11, but we are still out of the points. So a pretty disappointing start to the race. You may remember that back in Canada we got a very, very good start, but obviously this is a street circuit and you can quite easily get trapped down the inside, around the outside, especially down into Turn 1 and 2. So that is really what happened to us there. But still, P11 isn't a disaster. We have still got a full front wing, which we haven't been able to say on every occasion throughout the course of the Ultimate Career. And coming towards the end of lap 1, the field is very, very tight. We've managed to pull a gap to Jean-Eric Vergne. We're right behind Nico Hulkenberg, and that's someone off. It is Mark Webber. It's our championship rival. He's off the circuit at the end of lap 1. So he's out of the points, and this is a great opportunity to take advantage of Webber's misfortune. I've no idea what happened. Whether he got forced off the track, I'm not sure, but like I say, this is our chance to take advantage of his misfortune now going towards the end of the DRS zone. Of course, lap 3 means that DRS is active, and we just cannot quite get ahead of Hulkenberg, and you'll probably be seeing quite a lot of this today. Through that first DRS straight, we don't seem to have the straight line speed, but we're saving our curves for this second straight. And I found that by doing this, you could really propel yourself very well off the corner. And just look at that speed advantage we get over Hulkenberg on the second main straight on the circuit. We get the move done on Nico Hulkenberg up into P9. And we are advancing through this field pretty nicely in the early stages. We've got a lot of spare fuel, which we should be able to use throughout the course of the race. And lap 4, next up is Sergio Perez, and we're actually using quite a bit of curves this time. We've got the DRS, and now it looks as if we're going to get the move done straight away on this first straight and the only DRS straight on this circuit. We do indeed get the move done up into P8. Fantastic stuff there, getting past Sergio Perez. It was a pretty easy move in the end, using curves and DRS, so you could call it a artificial overtake, but there was nothing artificial about that. Going into the back of Michael Schumacher, basically pushing him through this section. And while we have definitely got the speed advantage over the 7 times world champion, are we going to go around the outside? Schumi defending his position valiantly, but we're going to go around the outside, but that's going to switch to the inside as we do the cutback maneuver. And Schumi was not expecting that. What a move! Fantastic stuff up into P7. And while we're only 7 laps into this race, but we've already had a lot of action, and you can probably tell by the video length that there is plenty more of where that came from. Plenty more action during the race. And already on lap 8, we are right behind Kamui Kobayashi, ready for another overtake. There are overtakes galore. And well, I think that's been the case pretty much every year at this circuit. I believe back in 2010, where we made an extra pit stop, which meant we had to do a lot of overtaking. In 2011, we came from the back of the grid. And now this season, we have come from, well, 13th at midway through lap 1, or towards the start of lap 1. And now we are up into P6. So this is fantastic stuff. We're now right behind Romain Grosjean. So he is next on our list, and I believe he was actually up in P4 earlier on in the Grand Prix, but he doesn't seem to have a lot of pace, and I believe he was passed by Lewis Hamilton. So Hamilton's pulled a big gap, and now we're going for a lunging move because we know how vital it is to get that position so that Hamilton doesn't charge away. But we are up into P5 ahead of Romain Grosjean, and next up is indeed Lewis Hamilton in the McLaren. And come lap 11, you can see that our tyres are starting to go off, but we were sort of starting to reel in Hamilton. And we thought this was just about the right time to make our one and hopefully only pit stop of this afternoon. So the recommended strategy was to come in at the end of lap 12. So getting this lap undercut on Hamilton could prove pivotal. And the top 3... I believe at the moment are Vettel, Button and Alonso in that order, but they just managed to sort of pull away a little bit, probably by about 5 seconds or so ahead of Hamilton. So it's going to be interesting to see how far ahead they can be. But I believe Hamilton will be stopping on lap 13, and the drivers ahead in that group of 3, the top 3, should be stopping at the end of lap 12. But we come out of the pit lane, and unlike in 2011, we don't overshoot the first corner after coming out of the pit lane. If you haven't checked that race out, then do go and do so. I believe it's probably one of my best Ultimate Career races, but wow, this is definitely up there. And we're only on lap 12, and we've had plenty of action. And coming around the final corner now, you can see a couple of cars in the pit lane, one of which is Kamui Kobayashi, the other is Michael Schumacher. Easily getting the jump on both of those, and there's a few cars that have just come out, and those are the 3 guys who are the top 3 in this race. And coming towards the end of lap 13, you can see that they're not too far ahead of us now, as Nico Hulkenberg peels off into the pit lane. And now we will get a good idea to see how close we are to Lewis Hamilton. And we set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and there he is, there's Lewis Hamilton. You can see in our rear view mirrors, he is there, and that is good news for us, because it means we are up into P4 for this Grand Prix. We set the fastest lap of the race, a 1:42.7. So we are really in the groove now, and you can see hitting every apex. We're just in the groove at this stage of the race. We were in rich mix to try and catch up to the top 3. And you can see that they're probably separated by a couple of seconds. We are now only 2 seconds behind Fernando Alonso. So we are going to go in pursuit of them and coming towards the end of lap 16. Is it going to be another fastest lap? Yes, it is. A 1:41.8, I believe that is. So we are just setting blistering times at the moment. 1.1 behind Alonso. And they are in uniform order. The top 3 are. Probably only separated by a few tenths, and now on lap 19 we're joining in on the action, and it looks as if Jenson Button's gone into the lead of this race. So Vettel evidently not in the quickest car this weekend, but well, we are going to hopefully get up and try and overtake Fernando Alonso, meaning that we're going to be up with Sebastian Vettel before too long. But once again, the DRS doesn't prove to be too powerful on that first straight, probably because Fernando Alonso was in DRS range of Sebastian Vettel, so we didn't really gain much of an advantage there. And now we're just pushing Fernando Alonso through this section, through that right-hander, which we seem to get a fantastic exit off most laps. And we are up into P3, a podium position. I can tell you guys, I was absolutely pumped during this race. 10 laps to go, a 4-way battle for the lead. Do not go anywhere, guys. And now you can see lap 21. We are once again pushing a car through this section. And this time it's Sebastian Vettel going over the bridge, which separates the the river in Valencia, I do believe. And now we're coming on to the main DRS straight. Are we going to make the move down into this chicane? I don't think we are. Once again, we just don't seem to have enough power in that Renault engine. Of course, Sebastian Vettel also using a Renault engine in his Red Bull. So, yeah, not really getting much of an advantage, but this is where the driver's skill really seems to come into it. If we can get a good catapult off there, and, well, once again, just saving our curves, being strategic about it, we are going to give ourselves a very good chance of making the move down here into the right-hand hairpin. We're going to dive it down the inside of Sebastian Vettel. We're going to hold it there. Is he going to hold it round the outside? No, he doesn't. We're up into P2. And this is, well, it's just fantastic stuff. It really is. I'm absolutely loving this action. And we're up into P2. Now just Jenson Button to go. But, well, we were pulling away quite considerably from Vettel, but Button just had absolutely blistering pace. You can see there we're doing 1:42.3s on worn tyres, as there's just a back marker coming out of the pit lane. But Button was just absolutely on it. He's 5 seconds ahead, but we were trying to push as hard as we could to just try and get up with him. And here on lap 27, you can see we've gone purple through the first sector, but there's still a 5-second gap. And we go a little bit deep into there, and we've lost the front wing. We've just got a little bit too greedy, and we just can't catch a break. We just cannot catch a break this season, can we? And, well, this is just like 2010 all over again. I tell you what, guys, I was ridiculously frustrated at this point, because we've thrown away 18 points, and there Vettel just breezes past us. And, well, we thought at this point, you know what, we might as well just stay out. We're going to lose points if we come into the pit lane, and we're going to try and put a valiant effort in and save as many points as possible. You can see that we're keeping the guys behind us, and now there are just 2 laps to go. So can we hold out for P3 in this Grand Prix? And going into turn 1, surely we're going to have to go defensive. Yes, we do. We take the inside line, trying not to lock up. And this is going to be the biggest bus park you have ever seen in your life. And coming towards the end of lap 28, it looks as if it's going to work. Fernando Alonso is still stuck behind us, and so is Lewis Hamilton. Now we come into the final corner, and we've just gone a little bit deep, and oh no, we've got a penalty for corner cutting, even though we've got no front wing, and we've overshot the final corner, meaning that we're in the pit lane, and this is going from bad to worse. Oh, I just can't believe it. You know, we had a nightmare in Canada where we had a corner cutting penalty and we got a puncture, and in this race we've lost our front wing, and once again we've got a corner cutting penalty, but this time I don't think it was sort of a deserved corner cutting penalty, and I don't think you can really call it a corner cutting penalty. But nonetheless, after never getting a corner cutting penalty in this series, we've gone and got 2 in 2 races. Cue the memes. And Jenson Button wins the European Grand Prix. He is going to storm into the championship lead. We come around the final corner in P10, but of course that means nothing, because we have got a 20-second time penalty. And well, just look at that, P12 with a broken front wing and a 20-second time penalty. That isn't too bad whatsoever, but what could have been? Well, there are the race results, guys. You can see that we could only manage P12. Our teammate Pastor Maldonado down in P17, so that's pretty awful for him. I think you can probably guess what the top of the order was like. It was Jenson Button who took the victory ahead of Vettel and Alonso. And, well, Jenson Button storms into the lead of the Drivers' Championship by 18 points ahead of myself and Mark Webber, who are tied now in second place in the championship. McLaren are steaming into the lead of the Constructors' Championship also, so it's been a very, very good weekend for McLaren. A win and a good points haul for the Woking team. But, well, guys, like I said, if you guys did enjoy this episode, then 100 likes in the first 24 hours of this being up, and I'll try and release the British Grand Prix before the end of the week, because I really, really want to make amends for that race. But I hope you guys did enjoy it nonetheless at the return of the Ultimate Career. Smash the like button, comment down below on what you thought, and I'll see you guys next time for the British Grand Prix. Bye-bye.